To start my bolognese, I've just put about a tablespoon of oil into my pan, and it's just a frying pan which can have a lid, and I'm going to put my onions in to the cold oil. Until you get a bit more experienced, don't heat your oil first, otherwise you'll get it too hot and you'll put your onions in and then they'll start burning straight away. I'm then going to turn the heat on, and I am going to put it on kind of at a medium to high heat, and then as soon as that heat gets into my pan, I'm going to turn it down so that my onions are softening and that they're changing from this white colour so that they are then more see-through. So this might take a couple of minutes until you're ready. Once the onions have gone translucent in the pan and they look soft, and there isn't any colour on them because we're just doing them on a lower heat, you can put your garlic in. So you can either just crush it or you can finely chop it. Depends what you use. And then just give that a stir around. So that only needs a few seconds because it's a lot finer and it will burn and it will catch a lot quicker. Then it's in there. I am just going to add in some courgettes just to get them to be starting to soften. You could always add some finely chopped carrot in there as well, which would enhance your vitamin content and increase the level of fibre. And it's just getting those vegetables to soften so that they're not crunchy within your food. Once they've been in there for a minute, I'm just going to add my beef into it. So just tip your beef out of the packet. I am using the 5% fat mince, which reduces the amount of fat that's in there, and just take off the paper from the packaging. What you then need to do is you're just going to break up your mince into chunks, and because it's been cut very finely, it will cook down in smaller pieces. But what you're looking at is browning it. You're sealing it so that actually you're keeping those flavours and those juices in it before you put any liquid into your pan. So this is where you're browning and sealing your mincemeat. So it will go from this red colour to a brown colour. And you can make it with corn mince, you can make it with pork mince, lamb mince, turkey mince, any kind of mince that you would want to make. It's the basis of the sauce that you actually get in there. Now, because I've just put cold mince in my pan, I might just need to turn the pan up a little bit just to increase the heat in my pan. Once your mince is browned, you're going to add in some tomato puree and your stock. If you're not sure on how to open your tomato puree, if you look at the end of your cap, you can then just push that into the top and open it up like that. So you're just going to do a big squeeze into that and just give it a stir around. Just to develop the flavour. And cook it off a little bit so that it's not quite as raw tomatoey flavour. And then a beef stock cube that you're just going to crumble up, and then we'll add some liquid in with that as well shortly. So my beef stock's just going in, and then into that a tin of chopped tomatoes. You can use passata as well, or you could add in some passata to it. And then using my tin, I am just going to get some water. So I'm just going to half fill my tin full with water and then just pour that in so that it's got some liquid in there, and it's just going to allow it to cook down and develop that flavour. The longer that you cook things like bolognese for, the more flavour they will develop. If we were in Italy, they would be cooking ragu for about 4 hours. Okay, into that I'm just going to add some oregano and some salt and pepper. Obviously do that to taste, and then you're just going to give it a stir around. Bring it up to the boil, so you might need to turn up the heat, bring it up to the boil, and then once it's bubbling on the top, you're going to turn it down to a simmer. While it's coming up to the boil, I have also got some chopped pepper and some chopped mushroom that I'm going to add in. All about adding flavour and texture, and of course vitamins and minerals to make sure that you have got that healthy, balanced diet. Okay, so just give it a stir in, add more liquid, so add more water if you feel that you need to. If it's going a bit dry, add in some more liquid. You can see as it's coming up to the boil that you're getting big bubbles across the top of your pan. What you are going to do now is you're going to turn down the heat to just about a medium heat so that it's simmering away. You're going to stir it occasionally to check that it's not sticking to the bottom of your pan and making sure that you've got enough liquid in there. And then also it's quite good to get into the habit of just getting a teaspoon and tasting a bit. So taste a small amount, obviously don't taste it straight out of the pan because it will be hot. Taste a small amount and see what the flavour's like. At the moment the tomatoes are quite a raw flavour, but as it cooks for longer you will see that development of flavour happening, and you'll see how ingredients change, and then also you'll be able to tell whether it needs any more seasoning or not. Obviously you don't need to add that until the end. So once it's simmering, it should just have little bubbles across the top, so you can see just little waves of bubbles going across the top, and I am just going to pop a lid on and allow it to cook away for about half an hour. Once your bolognese has been cooking away for a little bit, its flavour will have developed, but it might still be a little bit liquidy. So at that point you might want to take off the lid just to evaporate off some of the liquid and reduce it down, so you can reduce it along the side of the pan until it gets to the consistency that you require. So you don't want it too dry, because otherwise it will just sit on top of your pasta. You don't want it too watery because otherwise it won't cling to your pasta. So you want it so it's that right consistency so that it will cling to your pasta and give you that rich sauce. And you can see how the colour has deepened, and it's got richer in flavour and texture. And then once it's as you want it, check the seasoning again, add any more salt and pepper that's needed, and then turn it off and serve with your pasta.